nastiness out. Didn't even bother. Went and kept buying more dinnerware. Wow, they had so many plates. I mean, they had a lot of people in their family, but they wouldn't clean it. So when a plate was finished, you'd take it in the kitchen. I don't know. To me, those people didn't seem depressed at all, to be honest with you. I don't know, maybe they were. It's hard to say, but I never got a deep feeling of depression. I mean, they both worked. Both mother and father worked. The kids went to school and stuff. Everybody smoked weed in the house. I regularly shared joints with the mother and father. But I didn't get a deep sense of depression. Every once in a while, mom and dad would do mushrooms. And they didn't have any problem with their living situation. Now, for me, my external circumstances definitely affects my mindset. I've noticed that plays a role with me. But I very much prefer the Zen, very open spaces, simple, very clean. That seems to really help my mind. My mind seems to match that. If I'm in a really cluttered space, I think it's a challenge, and you could treat it as an exercise to control your mind in different and difficult circumstances. But I think it's much easier to have your mind be in a Zen space if your external environment is also in a Zen and clean and simple kind of setting. So I don't know if this gentleman's depressed. It sounds like it. That's what I got from the earlier video. I think his circumstance is probably very different from the family household that I was mentioning. But I have experienced real filth. I've experienced hoarding. I've experienced those things, and it probably happens for many different reasons. Yeah, I think I don't think it's optimal. It's nasty. So I wouldn't want to live that way. Anyway.
Yup. I lived in not as bad, but pretty close for 12 years. It was my roommate. Mm-hmm. Fucking disgusting. He's just a disgusting person.
Right, yeah.
Cockroaches everywhere.
Yeah, the roaches are horrible, bro.
Yeah. He had a cat, and the litter box was in the kitchen. Makes sense out of that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've seen.
It's short though. The apology video he made is like 22 minutes. This is why everything's out of order. I tried to find the best and shortest clips possible.
Yeah.
That sum it all up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 22 minutes is a long time.
So let me just play these back to back. It's just.
Yeah.
That'll wrap up his apology, and then we'll move on to...
Respect that, and I want to do this. And I want to do this not only for them, but mainly for myself, so I can be a better version of myself for everyone. I think I need to do this for myself. I need to take accountability for bad things that I've done, and for letting my life get this out of control. And
to show humility, and they're assigning huge amounts towards this election and all the things that are taking place, right? And whatever side people are on, on the political side, of things, and they point the finger at the other side. And for whatever the faults and flaws are of the candidates, I don't see it as they're the problem. I see it as the people are the problem. The voters are the problem. The people who support this and allow it to continue are the problem. I think, we give all this power away to others, to someone saying something. So it's good he's becoming aware, right? That's good. He might see some issues with what he said. I don't even know what he said yet. We'll see what he said. But the other thing that I see is it's great that this is working here for him in this case, and I think it's hard to tell. The apology seems fairly heartfelt and authentic there. Rather hard to tell. If we've got millions of dollars at stake, I can do a good job of seeming very heartfelt as well if you're offering me millions of dollars. So that's where it gets tricky. Is it really powerful, actually, than canceling him from a platform? If people just said, you know what, I'm not interested in what he has to say anymore because I don't agree with him and I don't think he's bringing value to me, and so I'm not interested anymore. Or if you did have the ability to dialogue and point out flaws in logic and what problems there may be in whatever his statements were, and actually have that discussion, you can get people to change that way. That was my, and I always forget the guy's name. That was my point before. We've had this discussion many times. Well, that was my point before about the blues player that gets the KKK members to quit the KKK, right? And he's a black man, of course, is that he doesn't shut them down, doesn't shut them up. He allows them to speak. And that's the important thing, is they have to continue talking. You have to continue the dialogue. I just, I don't know. The apology sounded great, but there's a lot at stake. And, you know, I think it's easy to sound very apologetic when you stand to really lose something that was worth a whole lot to you. And does that mean you're apologetic for what you said, or does that mean you're apologetic for what you're losing? And that's the whole problem with the case. It's not effective, in my opinion. If you want to cancel them, do it as a group. Do it as the people who are the audience, not from the position of, you know, I guess it's a little different. It's interesting, right? Because let's say we're talking about, what would you call it, network television. Network television is a different animal because you're checking ratings, right? You're seeing what your viewership is. So if your viewership drops drastically, then they cancel you. Your show gets canceled, right? But I think that's still kind of represents what I'm talking about, unless it's this morality call from the network themselves. And that's kind of what I feel like is happening with TikTok and with YouTube and with, you know, these, and Meta and Instagram and all this stuff, is that the platform is making judgment calls for the rest of us, and I don't agree with that at all, and I think it's ineffective. So, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. The apologies seem good, but yeah, offer me $10 million and tell me to apologize for it, and I will. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I'll apologize all day long, and it'll be very heartfelt.
Yeah. All right, here we go. This is the thing. Oops. All right, so yeah, just let me know whenever you would like me to pause.
So this one's 12.
This one's 12.
Yep. Okay.
All right, 12 or 13, something like that.
Initial statements were kind of fucked up. Let me issue an apology. That is the most normal thing ever to do. That's the most sensible thing to do. That's what I count on all other humans to do.